Welcome to this Windows Computer and Technology channel, and of course, my Windows 10 video sparked many questions that I got throughout the afternoon here. So I thought that I'd probably, questions and comments. So I thought that we could maybe talk about this and answer what we could answer. And of course, there's a lot of unknowns still. So the first question that I had a few times was, well, we're not really sure Windows 10 is something. Windows 12, sorry, is something. Well, we're pretty sure it is something. What we're not sure of is the name. Windows 12 might not be the name, but there is a new Windows that will be popping up in 2024. Pretty much everybody agrees next year is the new Windows year. Towards the end of the year, possibly. So, yes, Windows 12 or Windows something is a thing for next year. And that, I think everybody agrees on. The other thing also is that, yes, what makes us also agree on it is we talked about how Panos Panay talked about how Windows 11 is a kind of a pathway towards the future of Windows. So, we're in here for a certain amount of time, and that's going to be something else eventually. And, we do know that Microsoft changed and shifted gear. It really, really came back to a, operating system every 3 years. The other question is it absolutely sure that it's next year? Well, it looks like next year, but remember that Microsoft has a very difficult path towards new versions of Windows, sometimes making them, appear much later than they should because they're having problems going forward and checking out what's going to be new and implementing new features, and then it gets delayed. So next year is the target. It'll be 3 years since Windows 11 actually started, which makes it the 3-year mark that they want to keep. But then again, if something goes wrong or something isn't right, it could be 2025. We never know. A lot of people talking about the minimum requirements on Windows 12. Will they be the same or not? We don't know. We have no idea because it's not yet something that they're discussing or we are discussing officially. My take on it is they would probably keep the same minimum requirements, which, for me is not a problem when you are doing a new operating system and we're in 2024. Remember that a lot of the Windows 10 computers that cannot go to Windows 11 now, a lot of them will be quite old as Windows 10 ends its support in 2025. So a lot of people will have moved on to something new. There's, of course, a lot of talk about the Enterprise. Well, Enterprise doesn't change. Well, Enterprise changes if they have no choice. So you have two choices that could happen, and that I think is going to happen for enterprises, that Windows 10 will have extended paid updates. That is pretty much guaranteed. Why? Because I think in 2025, so many of the enterprise of the companies out there will be on Windows 10. They will offer extended support like they did on Windows 7 for at least 2 or 3 years, to let and give time to the companies, to the enterprise, to actually move on eventually. So I'm pretty sure this is going to happen. I've talked about it in the past. Windows 10 is in this very unique spot, a very unique position where, it's still a major player, and I don't see it changing from that major position within the next couple of years. That never happened before. It's never happened that a year before the end of support of an operating system that there's so many computers on that system. This is going to create a very unique and very weird moment for Microsoft, and that might change things. We're going to see. Could they extend a little more? They did it once. Could they do it again? I suppose they could. It all depends on what happens exactly. For Windows 12 AI, what does that mean? A lot of questions with, well, it simply means that it be more connected. It means that things you're going to ask, things you're going to do within Windows might actually come out of, Microsoft servers instead of being computed within your own PC. So more advanced features, more anything that you will ask it that needs to be done, processed in some way, will probably be done in the cloud, which means you'll be connected. The results, the things you'll be asking or doing might actually have an impact on your PC, but come from some computing on another computer in the cloud that might be more powerful to do it faster. This gives two pathways because everybody's like, well, do you need a more powerful PC? Well, this is the thing. Two pathways will show up here. If you use intensive cloud computing, that means you might actually have computers that don't need to be very powerful because all the computing power is done in the cloud. That will, on a connected PC, mean that your PC will not have to do all the tough stuff, all the complex calculations, making the possibility that, well, minimum requirement might just stay where it is because that'll be fine. It also gives another path. There's a couple of experts that I've heard talk about Windows 12's future with AI as maybe your PC might need a AI dedicated chip, which means that you might need new hardware to run Windows 12 because of that. Or one of the things that they've said is maybe there'll be a Windows version for the same minimum requirements as Windows 11, but they're going to tell you that some features are not available, or they will require that AI specific chip to make your Windows more efficient with the new AI future of Windows. Up to what point the AI is going to be, that is anybody's guess. But when we look at things like the ChatGPT 3.0 that's out, it's pretty impressive. And that means that from now into the next year, 2 years, 3 years, this is going to be even more powerful. So that's going to be an interesting future to look at. Will Windows 12 be free? Will it be a subscription? I don't see Windows ever being a subscription. It's not a feasible thing in Windows, and for the simple reason, you remember when we go back to Windows 10, everybody said, well, they're giving it free because it's going to be a subscription. It never did happen as a subscription, and the future of Windows cannot be in a subscription for a simple reason. It's given free all the time, and you pay it, and majority of people actually pay a license to use it when they buy a new PC. When you buy that PC that has Windows on it, you paid for it. It doesn't show. It's not going to say in your receipt you paid this for Windows. It's integrated within the price of the laptop, like the hardware and everything. It's just a global price, but that includes $25 or $35 or $40 for a Windows license. You paid for Windows. And the majority of people pay for Windows through this mean. So I see Windows 12 simply being, if you're on Windows 11, possibly a free upgrade to Windows 12. I think that path will be used again. But majority of people, like usual, will have it paid for it on a new PC when they buy a new PC at that time. So all of the things that are mysterious about it and what's going to happen. And of course, there's going to have to be new visuals. The start menu is going to have to be different. We already seen some examples with like a floating taskbar and with some of the apps at the top, sometimes looking a little bit like a Mac OS operating system. A lot of the things, for some reason, they're trying to kind of make look like a mobile system. These are all things that are kind of, interesting, and we'll see what happens then. But I do think that whatever future and AI they are in there, you're still going to have a control panel. You're still going to have these inconsistencies that we still see today. Why? Because everybody in every group, in every place in Windows, and in the different departments just work differently and don't really talk to each other that much, which gives different parts that look different and aren't working the same. So we'll see as the future holds for Windows. It's going to be interesting to see the future. I am, kind of excited with new Windows and seeing the new stuff. I think it's going to be nice. Be nice to have some advanced insider preview or something. All of this, well, throughout the year, I guess we're going to have hints here and there like we just had, where we're going to see more and more, and we'll get a better idea of what's coming up in the future. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.